How are you feeling?
My name is Jennifer Conlin, and I am a state representative in Michigan for House District 48. I care for my mother, who's a writer. She won awards for her writing in college and still writes poetry. She really sacrificed during her life to raise 4 children and to help my father with his business. My husband and I bought my parents' house 13 years ago with my parents in the house. It was mutually beneficial to everyone. Lost my father, and my mother deteriorated further, and she's in great shape mentally. But for the last 3 years, I think, really mobility is a huge issue for her.
We put the stair chair in, which has probably saved my life from falling down.
And she does end up having a lot of time on her own during the day because I'm at work. It makes me worry about her sometimes because her days can be very solitary with all of us gone. I have this sort of group that I've assembled together to help if I need it. She has a caregiver who basically is here in the mornings, which is fantastic. Her healthcare is what pays for Marie to come. So that is the biggest blessing. I don't know what we would have done without that, because probably I wouldn't have Marie and I wouldn't have that help. And maybe then I couldn't have even run to be a state rep because I would have had to be home more. She has us every evening and on the weekends, and there's lots of activity in this house. So I know that that makes an enormous difference on her mental health. In our case, it was pretty dramatic because we lived overseas for 20 years. We were both journalists, and so we were, at one point, a 3-movie plane ride away from here because we were in the Middle East. Since then, we've gotten more used to it, certainly, because I'm on year 13 of doing this. I'm an elected official, so I also have 92,000 constituents I'm taking care of. And, you end one job and you come home and there's another job. The caregiving emotionally is something you just can't turn off, even when you're not physically in the house. You have to just take care of yourself if you can, and your mental health if you can, because it can be a lot to be in your 60s like I am and taking care of a parent and trying to sort of be in a marriage still and be in your job still, and the bandwidth can be pretty difficult at times. As a state legislator, I care a lot about this issue, obviously, because I'm living it. I think we know now that in the state of Michigan, 1 in 5 people are caregivers and working more than 20 hours a week as caregivers, and we also know that those are disproportionately women. I certainly know that I would miss work quite a bit if it weren't for my caregiver that helps me caregive for my mother. We don't want people to lose their jobs because they're caring for a loved one. So there's a lot we can still do. My father's gone now, but I try to cherish this time with my mother. It's a journey. And taking care of a loved one is a wonderful thing to be able to do.